unlocking possibilities for smart and knowledge-driven Nigeria, and somehow he removed the smart, but I think it's still okay. I would like to take the perspective from the knowledge-driven Nigeria. And I remember Professor Mosri says that equity among citizens is based on who owns what, but equity among nations is based upon who knows what. So that means that we are moving away from the tangibles to the intangibles. And in fact, when he said this, it was before the 21st century. In the 21st century today, it is in fact not only based on who knows what, but who knows how, and the ability to control and manage this know-how and what. That is really what is important. And it means that knowledge must be managed carefully and effectively, and because it's the only source of competitive advantage for organizations, individuals, and also the whole nation. And when you talk of knowledge-driven country, then there are usually pointers on development of that knowledge, measuring the knowledge, preserving it, sharing with others, because any knowledge that is not shared is not really knowledge per se. And those knowledge assets within an organization or country. And usually the key principles are in, when you look at how an organization interacts with the customers, you look at the knowledge development using the ICT and also measuring those knowledge. But most of it, again, may come from using artificial intelligence or using a groupware system in an organization. But they all have challenges. And one of the key challenges is mindset. And I believe that during the discussion yesterday, we mentioned issues related to attitude. That surely if Nigeria has to move to knowledge-driven economy, then it has to rethink and also become knowledgeable. In order to become knowledgeable again, we have to be lifelong learners. As we all know that the technology is dynamic, and also we live in a global village whereby there is constant change. But in all this, there is a cornerstone. The cornerstone of the knowledge economy is actually ICT. And all what Shino mentioned before, all the disruptions comes from the ICT, especially with the convergence of technology. But ICT have two phases. It has the positive and then it has the negatives. Most of the presentations will be on the positive aspects, but I am going to take the negative aspect. And one of those negative aspects have to do with cybersecurity, have to do with trust system. And that is where the identity management anchor will come into play. Our forefathers will tell us that if they leave their goods and go to the farm with no one looking at the goods, but we've signed that this item is 1 pen, another one is 3 pence, and so on and so forth. But behold, by the time that they come back in the evening, then they will find their money there, and the remnants, the ones that have not been sold, without nobody at all. And why? Because there is trust. But now, any one of us that is asked to maybe even keep your phone, you'll prefer to hold it with you because someone else will pick it. So there is no trust. So the whole purpose of identity management is to build what? To build trust. And so my perspective is that we need to build trust in the new knowledge-driven economy by issuing people with digital certificates. Again, mind you, I did not say ID card, because there have to be mind shift. We have to move from ID card. Like the current, the latest identity system that have been done is captured data is the BVN, that is the banker's verification number. And you did not hear BVN card. But when it comes to NIMC, then everybody will be talking about card. In fact, even National Assembly, they will tell us, National Identity Card Management Commission said, no, please, you are the one that passed the law that sets us up. So call us by our name is identity management. And what do I mean by digital certificates? That we have a public key infrastructure. And I believe that it's only NIMC that has a national public key infrastructure that you can then issue those certificates, and you can use those certificates in knowledge economy. And all the unlocking possibilities that I'm going to talk about are going to be in this particular public key infrastructure, whereby you can do the national identification number verification. There are APIs that are provided. You can query the demographic information. You can do facial recognition. You can do a lot of artificial intelligence, and it is there. But it's, as they said, everything that is important that is hidden somewhere. The same thing with diamonds, pearls, and golds too. So somewhere behind the whole system, what I'm going to talk about is this public key infrastructure and then the application in so many areas. So if I move to my points, we have gone so far. I wanted to talk about the outline, the importance of the identity ecosystem itself, what are the touch points, and then the identity management benefits. Then the opportunity is that you have to use identity is a public good. The benefits do not reach those beneficiaries in knowing who these beneficiaries are. And also access services, and also it is fundamental to the development of every nation. The ecosystem is that it is fragmented. You have so many agencies doing multiple things and just gyrating around capturing identity of the person instead of carrying out their own functional activities. No common standards. We have developed standards several times. We ask people to go to our website, but it's always difficult. And as I said, things that are good, just like here, we didn't get the crowd. But I believe that next time you change it and say that maybe you are bringing in blockchain technology, or you bring it in a form of investment, and then you will see how the people will come in. And so low coverage, the same thing, low coverage here, low coverage of identity, multiple forms of ID cards, no interoperability, and there are silos. So whenever that even a state captures the data, because if Lagos State captures all the Lagos residents and citizens, of course I came in last night, so I'm not captured. So it is a silo. So whenever also if it is captured that silo is not taken to another silo, a different silo, then that is another issue. So there is need for harmonizing all those silos and integrating them in a way that they can talk to each other. These are the touch points. Again, it's like an identity life cycle from birth to death. So, birth certificate, National Population Commission. How many people have birth certificate issued by National Population Commission here? I believe maybe 0. So, but that is a function, that is vital registration that is required before even the census that should be done every 10 years. At education level, in fact, when you go for entry, nobody even cares about your identity, but your identity becomes important at the time that you're sitting for the exam, because then it is you want to know who really sat for the examination and passed that exam. So it's so important in entrepreneurship, in finance, the BVN, your useful service, e-governance, health, and also death too. We have to register the death, and we have to put it in the database. Otherwise, if you register and then go out to distribute let's say INEC voters card. So of course, then when you distribute that, you definitely have a lot of people that have died, and some other people will collect the card because they know how to use the dead man's card. So we have to build a system whereby it's inclusive, that it should have input, output should all be captured. That takes me to harmonization. I mentioned it before. We have from all these